So, hey everyone, I'm Felicia Maroney from Affirmative Girls, and I'm here today with Fergus. And I'm going to pass it over to her to say a few words about herself, and then we'll get into her work.
Cool. I'm T. Fergus. I'm a multi-dimensional artist based here in Toronto. Um, I guess I would say that most of the like Black and queer community knows me from tattooing. Uh, yeah, that's me. I do a bunch of things that's creative.
Yeah, I think it's good. Uh, I mean, that's what I was going to talk about anyway. That, like, you do so many things. Like, I've seen your photography, your visual work, your painting, I've seen murals by you. And obviously, I have your artwork on my own body. So, but
Yeah.
you are, even like I've noticed sometimes if well, pre-pandemic, walking around Toronto, your work would get recognized on like my arm or whatnot. So you are kind of a little bit more associated with tattooing. And but I was like, how do you balance all of those mediums that you practice? Because it seems to be a lot. So I don't know how you have all the time to do it. A lot in a good way.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely a lot. I think I go off how I'm feeling. Um my mood, I guess. Sometimes
Mhm.
I'm in the mood um to just like paint and do illustrations and stuff like that, and that's what I'll do.
Mhm.
Sometimes I'm in the mood to tattoo and I'll tattoo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't feel if I'm not in the mood to do it, then I don't, there's like, I shouldn't do it really because then there's no joy around it.
Yeah.
So that's like one of the reasons like I'm cutting back with tattooing because I'm just like, the joy that I want to like keep for a long time with tattooing kind of deflated a little bit. And
Mhm.
I don't want to like, like have any resentment or any kind of thing like that towards the craft because I love it so much. So yeah, it's like that's the same thing, like I cut back because I want to do it when I feel excited about it.
Yeah.
Um, so I think that's kind of how I maintain a bit of balance. Um, but the creating, I like like I just like making stuff, and I like
Yeah.
being creative, and I like using my hands. So yeah, I think I just go off of the like what my mood is really.
I've noticed from following on Instagram that you've been using TikTok as a way to like display your clothing. I think it's good. I have not gotten into TikTok yet, but I like watching what people repost there. Um, and I noticed that you showcase your own personal clothing or stuff that you have up for sale. And I was just
Yeah.
wondering, how are you enjoying the platform?
Oh my God. Listen, I wasn't gonna do TikTok. Like I wasn't gonna do it at all. Because I'm actually trying my best to stay away from a lot of these like kind of like social platforms as well.
Mhm.
Um, just for myself and for my
Yeah.
own sanity. Um, so I didn't really plan on it, but I get a lot of like, 'cause I do make a lot of my clothes and I love clothes. I love getting dressed up. I like adorning myself and I like feeling good. And I usually get a lot of feedback from folks wanting to like either know where I get my stuff or whatever. And because I make most of it, my partner and everybody was like, you should just do TikToks showing your clothes. And I was like, I'll try it out. It's like I like it, it's fun, but it's so much
Mhm.
work. It's like a whole other job. And I'm just like, oh,
Yeah.
that I don't have time for because I'm just kind of like um, just because I'm cutting back, like I'm like that I don't really have the time for. So I kind of just do it like if I feel like it. But yeah, it's fun. It's like just another outlet for me to like get dressed up and like yeah, there's nowhere
Mhm.
to go. But I mean, I already get dressed up to go to the grocery store or my backyard anyway. So it's like it's not really anything new for me to get dressed up to just sit in my office.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's fun.
No, yeah. So I kind of was talking about um, your artwork and your style, which I feel like your line work is like unmistakable. And I've seen like murals you've done, and I was like, I don't even need to look at the name because I know that you did it. And I was just wondering how this style came about. Is it something that's always been a part of your work, or it's developed over time and you realize this is, what I like to do?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely developed over time. Um, for me, for sure. It's grown as much as I think I've grown in my artistry as well.
Mhm.
Um, it took a long time, I felt, for me to get to a style that I actually felt really comfortable in expressing myself with, because a lot of people also are like, you have so many styles, and I'm like, yeah, I know, because I also am not someone who's like I said, I like to try different things. So
Mhm.
like I'm gonna try whatever, like different things, and find what I like the best. And if I really like something and it feels really good to me, then I will like work on that thing. Um, but yeah, like when it comes to self-expression, yeah, I guess I yeah, I like to really look at things in a dimensional, I guess, kind of way. Like I am always like, but why? Like, or like, but what more or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think with that in mind, my style, that's kind of how my style developed, like with like the idea of always kind of like wanting to push the boundary of imagination, I guess.
Mhm.
Um and I always wanted, from the artists that I guess a lot of the artists that I liked, especially when I was when I was like new into the tattoo world and like exploring tattooing and not really knowing much about like um especially other like black folks in tattooing. I guess one of the first people I came across was Maya Bailey, and I remember thinking like I could see his work, like I could find his work anywhere. Like when it's
Mhm.
so like I didn't have to see his signature. He had like this distinct style, and I was like, yeah, that's what I have to do. Is like I have to find a style that's like me. That I don't need to sign my name. Like you just see it and that's T. And so I think that's like was always kind of like the intention with the journey. And I moved to New York a few years ago, and like I think that experience and like kind of like being in a new place, not really knowing much, and like having the time to really like be with myself, and kind of
Yeah.
like that's really where that style developed and really started to take form. And yeah, it was like I really like this, like the whole like space to like universe kind of thing, like the idea of kind of like knowing that something else is beyond what we see right in front of us, but like what is it? um yeah, and I think that's kind of where that style develops, but I see it changing and developing and expanding even more, so I wouldn't even say that we're there yet.
Yeah. No, I mean, but I feel like you definitely have like a distinct, voice that comes through your artwork, that even if it's different styles per se, it's very much you. And I feel
Yeah,
like that's what I obviously and many people appreciate, and why you get recognized without even having to see the signature. So you're
I'm glad it
definitely,
works. I'm glad it's working.
yeah, it definitely is. Are you, I mean, I know you mentioned that you have like a lot of people lined up and waiting who you obviously had to put back because of the lockdown. Have you noticed you're still getting a lot of like demand for it, or people kind of like shying away from being enclosed personal, or I'm not really caring now?
No, no, people don't care at all. People want their tattoos. Like, I mean, like, I feel like if I was like, I'm tattooing to this whole thing, people would have still
Oh
caring
yeah.
about tattoos. You know what I mean? Like, because it's also a big part of people's like healing and like
Hmm.
mental health as well. And I think that's also a big part of it. Why so many people are like, no, I still need this. I think it's so for me, like I think with like a lot of other tattoo artists as well, it's kind of like it it did kind of feel shady in the beginning, like not being an essential art like person.
Yeah.
Like it's like, oh shoot, like I'm not essential, which was like kind of like like I find like tattoo shops are already like have to deal with so much like sanitation and
Yeah.
like, you know, like I was like, damn, we're not like that, we're not at the end of the barrel when it comes with like that. But you
Yeah.
know, I understand.
A little switch in gears here, but I've noticed through the past few lockdowns and the beginning of the pandemic, quite a few galleries have switched to like virtual showings.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
I was wondering if you've taken part in any, either as an artist or a guest, and how that's worked for you.
I haven't personally taken part in any of the virtual galleries. You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a whole other topic, you know, talking about galleries and how they choose artists and
Yeah.
the art they show is like a whole that's like, you know, that's like a whole other battle that I feel like I not already dealt with, still dealing with obviously in tattooing industry, but already like dealt so much with the tattoo industry that it's
Hmm.
kind of like I don't even know if I want to really deal with this right now with galleries also.
Yeah.
um but I mean, artists has to like artists still have to have a platform and a way to showcase their work.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of really cool things you can do with a virtual art exhibit, but it's just not the same, you know. It's not
Yeah.
the same as like going into the space and like seeing the art on the wall and like being able to get close to it and like seeing
Yeah.
the strokes and like it's definitely not the same. I mean, I would do it for sure. I would not pass up the opportunity to be able to showcase work.
Hmm.
Um, I would definitely do it and see what it's like. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna do. I mean, if that's like the last, like if it's like you guys aren't coming off lockdown, you can't do a show ever
Yeah.
again, then you know, I'll definitely probably try and do one myself.
Okay.
But I think for now, I'll just keep stacking like artwork that I'm working on and you know, um, what's for sale, what's for sale, but like what's for show, just keep like, you know, putting it aside. And
Yeah.
when I can do a gallery show again, I'll probably do that.
So, I have one last question for you, and it's,
Cool.
uh, what advice would you give to other Black girls, women, and individuals who are struggling to find their voice through their arts, and giving that push to trust their instincts and know that they can do it. They just need to actually go out and do it.
Yeah, I mean, that's really it. That's really sharing your art is like super can be super hard because it's like such
Mhm.
a vulnerable piece of you. Like you're like you might like it, but then you're like, does somebody else like it? Do they get it? Like, you know, so it can be really hard to like be vulnerable and like share your art and like put yourself out there. Um, but yeah, you just kind of have to do it. You have to kind of like just figure out like what you want for yourself, what you want your art to represent, what you want
Yeah.
to represent, and then you just got to do it, you know, and like it's hard to like obviously not care what people think and like all that stuff, but you really have to not.
Yeah.
You really have to try to like not and understand that not everyone is going to get it. Not
Hmm.
everyone's going to get it.
Sure.
Not everyone's going to be into it. Um, and that's okay
Hmm.
because it's, you know, not everything you create is going to be for everyone.
Yeah.
It's something I struggled with for a really, really long time. As someone who just likes to make art and do what makes me happy,
Hmm.
I struggled with like not feeling like I don't please like certain people or certain communities or like I should be painting certain subjects more,
Hmm.
um, because, you know, like I'm like black or I'm queer and I should just be like focusing like on certain topics because then I'm not representing or whatever. And it was like a really big struggle. You know, sometimes I still struggle with it, but um, you know, you can't be defined just by, you know, I'm not defined by just one thing. And in realizing that, you know, you kind of just gotta just do what you want to do. You
Hmm.
make art that makes you feel good, and as long as you know the intention behind it and like what intention is that you want to give out, um then you're good, you know. That's really it. Like you can really only like follow own your own path with it. And like, I mean, I'm somebody who already, like, I already liked being, I it's so funny, like from a kid anyway, I always was like, I'm not trying to be like anybody else in
Yeah.
these streets, you know, like I'm not trying to be like everybody else. Like I'm not, you know. And so because I'm not, like, I'm not going to be for everybody, you know. um and that's totally okay.
No, yeah. Now I
Yeah.
think all of that is beautifully said. And it's true. It's like at the end of the day, and it takes a while to get there, but
Oh, it
you're
takes
not going to be for
time.
everyone. Yeah.
It takes a long, long time. And you know, like, and we already have so much pressures like already that exists. And like what we see and think are like these, like, you know, perfect examples of like ways of being and stuff. So it's like, you
Hmm.
know, I always tell people like it's cool, like, you know, like I've met so many people that I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna meet this person one day, or like that person's so cool, and like whatever. And I've met people like that and they've like completely disappointed me.
Yeah.
So I always say like it's okay to like admire and inspire people, but you know, like do your thing,
Yeah.
find what inspires you in that, and then like make it yours, you know. Don't like hold on to those things, because I'm sure that like people are like I always say to people, I'm like, yeah, I'm glad like you love the work and all that, but like some people might be disappointed in some of my point of views, and just you're not going to please everybody.
No,
So
yeah.
you kind of have to just do do your creating and do your art and put it out there for you.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I can't really add anything more to that because you said it all, and it's all
Yeah.
very accurate. And I feel like people appreciate hearing stuff like that. So I really want to thank you for taking the time to talk to me today because I obviously am a huge fan of yours. And
Thanks.
I will make sure everyone to link to the platforms you are using right now and
Cool.
will be using. And yeah, thanks for taking the time. And hopefully, once you're not super booked, I can come and get something done by you.
Yes, yeah, no,
Summertime or something.
definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. Like the books will definitely be open like throughout the year. Like I said, again, it's just like limited space, but you
Oh, yeah.
know, um I'm a little biased to longtime clients. So don't worry, just always reach out.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. Oh, well, I definitely will. I don't even know what I want to get. I just know I want something.
cool. Sounds good.
All right. I'll let you go. Have a great night. Have a great week. And I'll talk and see you soon.
Yes, same to you.
Bye.
Bye.